Africa is currently the youngest and fastest growing continent.
Africa today has the fastest growing population in the world, but also is the poorest. By 2030, Africa will have a larger workforce than China, and by 2050, it'll have the largest workforce in the world. 1 billion people will need jobs in Africa. So if we don't grow our economies fast enough, we're sitting on a ticking time bomb, not just for Africa, but for the entire world.
By 2050, Africa's population will double, and its cities will grow to 3 times their current size. Over the next 80 years, sub-Saharan Africa alone will account for 87% of global population growth, adding nearly 2.7 billion people.
Africa, with the resources that are built in just to the land and the people and the diversity, I don't see why Africa wouldn't lead the world for millennia to come.
With a median age of just 19.7, Africa is becoming the world's biggest source of new talent. But here is the dilemma. Since 2000, only 9 million jobs have been created across the continent, yet more than 20 million people join the workforce every single year. What do you think is a more pressing problem? Is it lack of jobs or lack of skills?
I think it's a combination of both.
I stand before you today with immense pride and a deep sense of purpose as we gather for the official launch of the 1 Million Coders Program.
Faced with a widening gap between job seekers and job opportunities, one path is gaining momentum across the continent: entrepreneurship. In response, a wave of entrepreneurship programs has emerged, from government-backed hubs to NGO-led bootcamps and tech incubators. These initiatives aim to equip young people with practical business skills, how to build, scale, and sustain a venture. And a prevalent one is ALX.
How does ALX differ from, say, a traditional edtech outfit?
EdTech's focus on you going through the program, and I think for most, the experience ends once you're done with the program. But for ALX, it's a community, and learning is an ongoing thing. So we always find opportunity to continue to support.
Now, in this story, I sit down with the country manager, the entrepreneurship development manager, and founders from the ALX Ventures program to explore the solutions they are introducing to help unlock and develop Africa's growing talent.
My name is Nanada Kwasiedo. I'm the country manager for ALX. I'm responsible for our operations here in Ghana and also recruiting students into our various programs. Basically, that's it. But primarily, we've been focused on student recruitment in Accra, but I'm also responsible for ensuring that we expand to the other parts of the country. So very soon, you'll be seeing ALX having hubs and more presence in different parts of the country. Yeah.
Great. So how does ALX differ from, say, a traditional edtech outfit?
I think there are a lot of similarities with the way EdTech operates, but the main differentiator between ALX and other programs is the community that we provide. Most EdTechs, and I say most, not all, are more focused on the learning program that the participants go through, right? Because it's remote, it's online. The facilitators are more interested in just giving out the content, whereas we look at it holistically. So one of the key differentiation with us is our community that we provide. So whilst you're in the program, going through the content, although it's remote, it's very similar to EdTech, there's also that in-person community that we find different ways to engage with our learners. So we look at the holistic experience. And even when they are done and they graduate from our program, we continue to engage them. EdTech's focus on you going through the program, and I think for most, the experience ends once you're done with the program. But for ALX, it's a community, and learning is an ongoing thing. So we always find opportunity to continue to support you.
My name is Abagi Gotswe, and I'm a high school graduate who recently joined ALX Pathway for about 5 months now, and I'm in the second term of the course. It's been going well. My grades are up, and I think some of the courses are challenging, especially computer science. Right now, I'm trying to learn how to code, and it's very challenging.
But you think you'll get through it?
Yeah.
For decades, the path has always been the same: primary school, secondary school, university, and maybe, if you're lucky, an accelerator program. Yet today, only about 9% of young Africans have access to tertiary education, far below the global average of 38% according to UNESCO. With a population that is projected to double by 2050 and a median age of just 19.7, millions of young Africans are entering a world evolving faster than ever before. So, is the traditional schooling path still enough to prepare them?
If you were to suggest a roadmap, would you say that we would go from, say, primary to secondary and then to an accelerator program, or you'd still like advise we go the traditional route, which is primary to secondary to tertiary, and then to an accelerator program?
I think that the accelerator model, if you look at it, is more around the acquisition of skills, practical skills. And I think it can be embedded in all the various stages of the programs, right? Even from primary school, what practical skills are they learning? Problem solving skills are they learning? In high school, what problem solving? And then when they get to university, I think that should be more focused on job readiness skills. So I think throughout, because if you look at the accelerator model, not just ALX, so many other accelerators in the country, international, it's mostly focused on acquisition of practical skills. And then other soft skills that are relevant to, let's say, to the job, to the job market. And I think these things don't have to be introduced at the latter stage. We say catch them young. So why don't we start from the earlier stages? So for me, I think it must not be a standalone. Today, it's a standalone because it's now becoming new here in our market. So most people wait to go through tertiary to now acquire these programs or these knowledge to accelerator.
Yeah.
But if you look in certain countries, and Estonia is one of the countries that I always like to refer to, the accelerator model is embedded throughout the educational system, right from infancy. The government has this policy where it's practical, so that you come out of school having these skills ready to solve problems. And it's not just for work, right? It's about solving problems. What problem around you can you use that skills to solve?
Yeah.
But here it's around theory, and sometimes you don't see how this knowledge acquired easily transferred into whatever problems we find around us.
We say we want to create 2 million ethical and entrepreneurial leaders by 2030.
Okay.
Right. The big question is who's going to employ all these 2 million people, right? We certainly don't have enough jobs readily available for these young people. And so we need to start empowering young people that can start creating jobs as well. And so that's exactly what I'm doing with ALX Ventures.
Africa has the talent that is youthful, ambitious, and fast growing. And without jobs, millions risk being locked out of opportunity, a challenge ALX Ventures is tackling.
Okay, so the ALX Ventures program is a business incubator, mostly for early stage startups. So if you have just an idea, you want to see how you could refine it, you could join the ALX Ventures program. If you have an idea that you've probably entered the market and you still want to move, the ALX Ventures is the right incubator for that.
What do you think is a more pressing problem? Is it lack of jobs or lack of skills?
I think it's a combination of both. I think the skills and exposure is definitely lacking, especially in our ecosystem, right? If you compare a startup ecosystem to that of maybe Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, I think there are quite a number of gaps, right? So there's a skills gap, there's a funding gap, right? There's a talent gap, amongst other things. And so that's the gap that we are trying to bridge with our programming, right? And so how can we get as many young people to be exposed to foundational entrepreneurship? How can we give them the tools and resources to build and launch businesses? How can we help them then scale those businesses, right? Whether into new markets or into new customer segments or hiring new people or new products and things like that. So we are trying to bridge those gaps with the programs that we are running, and we know that like job creation is going to be an outcome of what we're doing. If we create sustainable businesses, if we create successful businesses, then they will eventually have to hire people.
Yeah.
Right. And so job creation is the long-term outcome.
Yeah.
But immediately we just want to be able to empower as many founders and launch as many businesses that can attract as much revenue as possible.
Yeah, that's great.
So I joined ALX, I took the AI Career Essentials program. Through that, I got to find out how AI in particular is being used to solve environmental issues.
Okay.
So we are talking AI devices, stuff like that. So I was intrigued. It caused some form of inspiration in me. And from there, I started asking, how could we use tech to accelerate solving the climate problem, especially in Africa? Because the things I saw were from Europe, India, but like I wanted something that was African grown. So I started asking questions again. And then I took the virtual assistant program with ALX, yes. And in the virtual assistant program, there's this part of the video. There's a video where Fred Swanica talks about his virtual assistant. And he talks about the fact that he always expects he doesn't expect his assistant to remain an assistant. He expects her to grow and become a leader herself. And it was very inspiring for me because I've been an assistant for 3 years. I like those things, support people, secretary stuff. And so it was hitting for me. It feels like, Rebecca, this is your time to, do something different.
What would you say that the program does best when it comes to raising founders? If there is just one thing you point to.
I would say that Ghanaians, there are a lot of Ghanaians that have that idea to build a business. But it's more like, okay, I just want to build a business. But why are you building the business? So that is what I would say that ALX does best. Because there is always the reason behind it. Right? You don't just build an app or build a business. Why do you build it? You need to solve a problem. So Stephen always says something that, what is your unique offering? Like, what is different about your solution that the other, even those and the big players in the industry, I mean the competitors, what are you bringing that is different from what? So there is always that unique reason behind why you're building that business.
In many parts of Africa, cost remains a major barrier to quality education. But through support from partners like the MasterCard Foundation, ALX makes its programs affordable, ensuring more young people can easily enroll and build their futures.
So in the subsequent year, we introduced what we call the admin fees. This was also not the actual cost of the program. And I'll take our data science or our data analytics program, for example. The shelf price of that course is more than $5,000. But how many Ghanaians can afford $5,000? So we price it around $120, just so that we gatekeep people who have interest, because the MasterCard pays the actual price of everybody going through this program. So we had to make sure that people who are committed were the ones going through. So we charge a little amount, $120 compared to the actual price, which is more than $5,000. But I told you earlier, we're always listening to the market, we're always on ground collecting a lot of data. So we noticed that also impacted the number of people that wanted to go to our program. So we supplemented that with 2 other free programs, and we saw more people going there, but there was interest in our technical programs like our software, but they couldn't afford. So in 2025, we piloted one where it's just $5 a month. Depending on the duration of the program that you're taking, you just pay $5. So if software engineering is 12 months, you pay $60. If data science, I think it's 13 months, then you pay that times $5. So we've made it very affordable. And the aim, as you mentioned, is not revenue generation. It's around making sure that we have people that are putting their skin in the game, that are committed. Because once you pay, then you'd know that it's urgent. And we're already seeing that in the number of people that we're able to keep in the program. Like I said, we have a graduation rate of close to 50%, but even when we started this $5, I think we've seen it go above 50%, which means more people paying the 0 to I think it's, for me, it's like even no cost, right? Because we see the value of the program that you go through, or even coming to our hubs. The internet usage for a day, it's more than $5, right? So it's just to show that you're committed to the program. So not just us, a lot of learning platform, edtech solutions are beginning to make these things free because we see the need for it. And like you mentioned, we don't have those kind of income that, people generally don't have that income to pay for the actual cost of this program. So grateful to the funding organizations that we work with as an ecosystem to make sure that we're able to make digital literacy programs affordable and almost free for young Ghanaians to go to.
ALX is equipping young Africans with the skills, tools, and networks to create ventures that matter. And this is because unlocking Africa's potential means investing in its talent. And maybe, just maybe, the future won't be about following the traditional path, but about creating new ones. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with someone. Thank you.